Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 in losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
No, leave this shit
I
in.
am
I'll
joking.
bring us in. All right.
All right.
Midway bringing us in. Keep it in. Fucking, I don't care. Part 2 of 112 Journeymen Lounge podcast listeners. We appreciate you. And this is the banter we have to deal with. You know, we can't have an opinion.
Yeah, this is the banter we have to deal with. Jared Leto's a terrible actor.
He is a
from
terrible
this guy.
actor.
Moving on.
Yeah, agreed.
I think he's better in supporting roles, for the record.
Support as in the boom mic operator?
Let's
like
not get into
supporting the boom mic?
Let's not get into a
Okay.
whole thing here. Let's get into
That's
the
fine.
focus,
Let's go into
which
this.
was your movie,
Yes,
Bobby.
It's, Beautiful Boy.
This was also a free choice, so it wasn't
we're in the free choice
era.
Yeah, I know Alien kind of blurred the lines between kind of our Halloween and
It
horror.
was
we
also
were done with it.
No, but I'm
No,
saying
no,
it was also Ryan enjoys the movie.
I know,
So it's also
everyone-
like not as only a great movie to him. It's also
No, I'm
fits
just saying
the
we went off
category.
of our Halloween. And
It was
Alien
more of like a bonus Halloween,
Sure.
but also it was a movie I would have done
Regardless.
Irregardless.
Yes.
Right. So this is Beautiful Boy 2018. I'm going to give you guys a quick synopsis of the movie and then the budget and ticket sales. And then we'll kind of, peel back that onion. So this is a drama about the impact of crystal meth addiction on a family, told from the perspective of journalist David Sheff and his son Nick.
Well, I would say it's drug addiction in general. But
Let me get into it.
Sorry.
The film is a time lapse of Nick's journey through cycles of addiction, relapse, and recovery. In parallel, it shows the desperation and fallout of his father David attempting to provide any and all means to help his son get clean. In a pivotal scene, David accepts the fact that he can't change the course of Nick's life and embraces the fact that he'll eventually bury his son, or mourning the living. The film concludes with Nick clinging to life after an overdose, but then identifies his successful recovery in the final credits and the launch of his memoirs during his dark days. This is based off of, just quick note, Tweaks, which was the novel written by Nick, and then Beautiful Boy, a father's journey through his son's addiction, by David. So budget and ticket sales associated to this is $25 million was the budget, with box office sales of $31.7 million. So,
I mean, were there any box offices in 2018?
I have box office at $16.6 million.
all right,
Okay.
I guess
I don't know. Wikipedia could be wrong. I mean, I'm just saying it says it right
no.
here.
So
Wikipedia
so
could be wrong.
31.7, but 24 million of that 31.7, when I researched it, was international. So it wasn't so much a U.S. Embraced film by any means. The release date was September 7th, 2018, and the runtime of this was 2 hours.
Okay.
All right, there it is. Synopsis, little facts, and I guess what's your experience with the movie? Thoughts and observations.
I am one of the people who actually saw it in the theater. It was awesome.
So you added to their gross ticket.
I did. I added to the gross. Yeah. I think I'm saying I probably did like a double dip where I saw something with something, this was something else, and I like Steve Carell, obviously. And
I got a question, man.
Sure.
Do you keep your ticket stubs, or did you used to?
I used to, but then now they're all digital, so I don't even get ticket stubs.
That kind of pisses me off.
Well, you
a
don't
little
even
bit.
take a screenshot of the.
No, I mean I have it all tracked in my app, my AMC
Okay.
app, so I
Cool,
can look back
cool.
at what movies I've seen over the last
Interesting.
7 years or whatever.
That's pretty wild.
Whatever is used on the app, I can look at. But no,
Okay.
I used to keep some stubs, but not like some people did. But sometimes I would, but no, I don't anymore.
Sometimes.
But yeah, I saw this in the theater and was blown away by it. I thought it was amazing. Really powerful movie with great performances. I love the way that the story unfolds with it's kind of going in order, but then it also has flashbacks mixed in.
It does.
And
It doesn't follow a
it,
chronological timeline in that sense.
it
A little bit.
It kind of does at parts, but then also interweaves the flashbacks. And it does it well. I think that also, for one thing, they got the kid who plays a younger Timothy Chalamet looks just like him.
Dylan Grazer.
Dylan Grazer.
There's a few. There's 3 different Nick.
They all look
chefs.
like it all works. They all look like Chalamet. And
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Steve Carell's really great in it. All the performances are good in it. I like the way that it intermixes it. And Chalamet, I think, is the best part of this movie. He's really good. I remember he was up and coming at the time. You know, one of those like young actors on the rise, and he still kind of is, but he's a little more established now. And I was like, oh, I'd never seen him with him in it, so I was excited to watch it. And I was like, man, okay, this kid's got the chops. He's legit. Like he might be like the new Leo or something. Like I could see that. Like
the kid's very talented.
Oh, he dropped the.
and he's still great. I was telling them off the pod and the Bob Dylan movie, not that they're talking about it, but still a good actor, really good in that as well. I think and this is just like the first time being like, man, I think this kid, he's gonna do some things.
I've never seen the movie before. This was first time watch. Never heard about the movie, and that's what I'm going with.
Actually, so kind of on the same line as you, this was kind of a shot out of the dark. Now, I saw The Foxcatcher with Steve Carell playing, a non-comedic role in a sense, and I've heard good reviews about Beautiful Boy, and I just,
The Foxcatcher was about the wrestling team training for the Olympics.
It's just Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, but the idea is Steve Carell not playing a comedic role, and I wanted to see what I heard positive reviews about this, and I was like, you know what, let's change pace here, do something a little different, and Beautiful Boy was kind of a selection, but it was a shot in the dark, and it ended up being, I think, a big success in terms of my experience with the movie. So
yeah, I was really happy you chose it because I've been wanting to rewatch it since I saw it, and unfortunately for me, it's a Prime exclusive, and I don't have Prime.
Yeah, we hooked you up though.
Thankfully, I was able to watch it through yours, and you cannot even buy this on Blu-ray or DVD
no,
or
it's
anything.
Prime exclusive.
Yeah, so that kind of is unfortunate, but great to watch it again. Really.
Can I run through some fun facts and then we'll get into scenes?
Sure.
So fun facts on this: Timothy Chalamet, and he was a younger guy at the time. He lost 18 pounds to portray Nick Sheff when he was in his meth addiction, because meth heads are never overweight. It doesn't operate that way. And they actually had to wait for him to gain weight to finish up some of the scenes. So there was a delay in filming due to, hey, we're going to do this part and then, all right, gain some weight and then we'll go back at it. Co-screenwriter Luke Davies is a recovering addict himself, and his experiences are captured in the novel and the film Candy. The movie is a combination, I mentioned that, of Tweak, okay? The title of this film and the book it's based upon came from a John Lennon song, Beautiful Boy, Darling Boy. And I know we talked about the Beatles, so it's a nice little callback to some of our reviews of their albums. Prior to filming, I'm going to destroy this guy's name, and I apologize. I know you're a subscriber, so apologies. Van Groningen arranged for 2 weeks of rehearsals with the cast, which is a common practice in Flemish production, but isn't really seen in the U.S. So they had a 2-week rehearsal stage before they got things going. And then the last tidbit was this was filmed in San Francisco, Los Angeles, at the USC campus. And I was actually at one of the site locations when I was visiting California, the Golden Gate National Recreation Area.
Okay.
And the Henry Olhoff House. So just some filming location information. There it is. So let's open it up. I always like to add some fun facts. That's kind of my own twist of our movie thing. But favorite scenes for you guys?
I would go with, I like the scene of them, Steve Carell, Danny, and his son Nick, Timothy Chalamet, Danny and Nick. David? Oh, I'm sorry, David. I fucked up. David and Nick. And it's like, again, they keep intertwining like flashbacks. So the movie starts with like, he's missing or whatever at night and he doesn't know where he is. And then eventually comes home and they check him into a rehab. And this is one of those flashback scenes where I think it's like the first time, maybe one of the first times that Nick was getting into drugs, so he has a joint with his dad in the car.
Right.
And he's like, hey, let's smoke this together. It'd be fun. And,
okay.
And Steve Carell's like, I'm just going to call him Steve Carell. Steve Carell's like, no, I've
fine.
only done it a couple times. Like, come on. It'd be so cool to smoke together. I think that would be awesome. And then they end up doing it and like chatting about life. And right then and there, like Nick kind of, he says how he feels about like, man, he's just like, this just helps me take the edge off of life, and like sometimes all the bullshit, like I'm kind of paraphrasing, but like this really just helps me, and I like this. And then you can see like from there, like, oh shit, like it's gonna open the gate to like harder things, or whatever.
Sure. I would go with kind of those flashbacks. It's Nick and David as a younger with Jack Dylan Grazer, the younger child, jamming out to Nirvana.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty sick
Yeah.
that they were going through. I will go through the soundtracks. I got a bunch of ones.
Yeah, I wrote down quite a bit.
That was a cool scene too because it's intermixed in with he's like looking for him because he went missing from the halfway house, and he finds him. It's like pouring rain, and he finds him in the alley, just like soaking wet, and like the juxtaposition of like
what the fuck was that?
of like their relationship throughout the movie, but like when he was younger, how strong it was and how close they were to now, like how like they're becoming. You know, Steve Carell loves his son so much, but he's taking a toll on him, and like
Obviously, yeah.
You know, I think it really strengthens the relationship. Like seeing the old stuff mixed in with the way it is now is like they really show how much he cares and how much it's hurting. You know, him to see his son go through this and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
One of mine is, I think his son just bailed on them, and I'd say it's midway through his journey as the father to an addict, but he said, my son is out there somewhere, and I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how to help him. And then his current wife, was like, you can't. And that was such a powerful, I think, scene for me because Steve Carell, you could sense his desperation. It's like, here's my son who is killing himself slowly, and there's nothing I could fucking do about it. So that was one of the scenes. And my other, I guess, top scene, cinematic scene as well. They were along the West Coast, obviously near San Francisco, hiking. He gets a call from his wife that him and they created Nick, and she's like, hey, he's gone, this or that, and he basically tells his wife, he's like, yeah, I know, we can't help him. Our son is basically dead. We have to start to accept that fact, where he basically writes it off. He's like, there's nothing more I could do. I can't change the course that he's going in. And that itself was, that got me like in the feels. Like, I was like, holy shit.
Definitely a more dramatic film.
I was smiling because I'm like, classic Bobby, skipping toward the end already.
I said that too. No,
I would go at the treatment center when they're like moving in. This is like early on when he first goes. He's reluctant to go to the treatment center. Then there's like a relapse where like again he goes missing essentially, and then now he's like moving into this like full on like you have a room in here, and it's just like again it's like a very real moment. You can feel it, like great acting again throughout the entire film. But most of the ones that I was like, anything that I pinpointed as like a good scene was either one. It was either a euphoric scene, which I thought was like showing the comparison of like this is the best times and the worst times and stuff like that.
Right.
And then the other times would be just like again like more real acting of like, hey, this is like trying to win an Oscar, which I think they were nominated for with this one.
Well, that scene, I would say that I'm going to expand on that. You were talking about Woj, where he drops him off at the new rehab, and like Steve Carell finally they're sitting on the bed across from each other, him in one side, him the other, and then his stepmom over there too,
played by Maura Tierney.
Yeah, and he's like basically like, why? When? How long you been doing this? How long you been doing this drug? How long you been doing this drug? And he tells him weed and other stuff. He names LSD, a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he got into the heavy shit.
A couple years,
yeah.
And meth at the time, a couple months is what
Right.
he said. And then the Steve Carell just like breaks down and is like, like, what are you doing? This isn't you. Who are you? Like, and then he's like, Dad, I know you're disappointed with the way it turned out. Basically, I didn't go to college. I didn't be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do this and that. And like, I don't know, just really felt like very grounded and real and like very well done.
Was that the scene where they're at the diner, right?
No, that's a different. This is the one where they're at the dorm. The diner one's a great one too. Though. That diner one, it's when he tells them to meet him up, and then he comes in. He's clearly high.
Right, and he's like, I need cash.
And he's like acting all that, like I want to get out of here, and like kind of twitchy, and
right.
He's like, I need $300 for something, and Steve Carell's like,
I can't do that.
Let's just have a meal. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this is not the way I want it to go, and blah blah blah, and then he gets up and just leaves or whatever.
One of my other favorite scenes, and I guess sorry I went to the end, but I'm dialing it back, was when he's with his sponsor riding bikes through the hills of San Francisco, and he starts to pump it, and then his sponsor starts to try to
pump it louder,
get past him. They're kind of racing up this hill, and then eventually he just he kicks into high gear, and it was just a fun, fanciful scene in the sense that his recovery, it seems like there was like real like foundation in the recovery because he had the right support system, living with his mom at the time.
I would say too, his movie is very like. It's like a hill, like mountains, like it's very up and down with
Right.
like the emotions.
Good
Like
analogy.
it takes you through it, like a lot of it in the beginning, like you're down on him because he's like, but then there's a point in the movie where Nick calls his dad from the rehab, and he's like, "Hey, another patient was talking about college, and the time is now," and he had given up on college, and now he's like, "Hey, I think I want to go back. I want to be a writer again," and like you can see in Steve Carell's face how happy he is and like relieved because he thought when he called him like. Something else happened. Like he's gotten these calls before,
Right.
Of him fucking up or he's missing or he did something.
Right, and this is a positive note.
And then there's a little part of the movie where things look good. He drops him off at college. They
like
have
18 months clean.
They hug in the dorm room. He's doing well in class. He gets a girlfriend. And then he goes to her house for a family dinner. Goes in the bathroom in the medicine cabinet and he pops the prescription pills. And it's like, oh, now he's starting to relapse again. Then he starts shooting heroin because he doesn't want to smoke meth in the dorm. I think he's trying to like do a different way, like more quiet, low key way of doing drugs.
Time out now. What he was doing is like the introduction of that, and then once you do intravenous, that's like the full course.
Yeah, like that's like his, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
So then he's just escalating from there, and then.
Yeah, I would also put in like the breakdown of meth by Timothy Hatton, who's like this, I guess, expert on addiction.
Timothy Hutton.
I'm sorry, did I say Hatton?
You said
sorry,
Hatton.
Timothy Hutton.
Ricky Hatton, Timothy Hutton.
Yeah. Ricky Hatton just died.
Oh no.
Sucks.
Wait a
What was his nickname?
I don't know.
Fuck.
Fight Night. I know that.
Yeah, I know we used to use him all the time.
Yeah.
But Timothy Hutton is like this expert, and he like is explaining. I like the scientific piece of it, where it's like this is how that affects the brain and how this is basically deteriorating. He cannot stop himself. Like it is not something.
It becomes such a physical like pull on him. He's like, and the success rate is what, less than 5%.
It's like single digits.
Single
is what
digits.
he said.
Yeah.
So like he's basically saying he's fucked.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I got more.
Yep.
Yeah, this one is like the pied de resistance in my mind. It's very creative. The Notebook with all the crazy shit as he's going through the
Dark as
addiction and what drugs he's on, and it's like he's also, they say it in there, is like he is a creative. He is a writer. He does poems and kind of shit like that. And as Steve Carell's flipping through, it just gets darker and darker, and then at the very end. Can't even fucking
even make out the words.
Can't even write the words because obviously he's so fucked up. But like I said, this was that scene. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking so insane. Go ahead, you got one?
Yeah, when he comes back from college break, he's been using drugs, and comes back. You could tell. I mean, I don't know. They can't tell, but we as an audience know he's wearing long sleeves, covering up his track marks. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah.
And then. The little brother's money goes missing.
$8.
Jasper's money, and I think they're twins or whatever.
Yeah.
And Timmy Chalamet's like the night before he went out driving like all fucking high and shit.
Right,
that was crazy
we'll talk
too.
about
Like
it,
the way that looked, really cool. And then the next day he wakes up to like he clearly like hungover, but like like a drug hangover or whatever. Whatever, he's tired and shit. He's wake up to the crying of the kids, and it's like the money went missing. And she's like, I didn't do it. And then Steve Carell questions him at the breakfast table. He's like, did you take? And
he's just so dismissive, and he gets aggressive. Yeah.
And then that's when he just packs his shit up and like just storms out of the house and goes missing for whatever months or I don't know how long it was, but that shit was crazy.
Last one for me, real quick, is the scene where Steve Carell's wife, played by
Maura Tierney.
Goes after him in the minivan, and you could tell that obviously, this isn't her son biologically, but she's broken up all the same about it, because anyone who, I guess in this situation, anyone who is dealing with someone who's going through addiction, it's not an isolated incident. It impacts everyone, and she, like, you saw her eventually stop the car from the chase, and just kind of break down.
Oh,
Like it was a really sad, moment.
Bobby, if I may, you're kind of bearing the lead with that one. Where the reason she was chasing the things that led to that was
He broke into the house.
He broke into the house. He had been gone for a while.
Trying to steal.
He met up a girl from he used to go to high school with or something.
Right.
They started using together. Then while they're at the swim meet, which he was supposed to be at for his brother, he told him
bailed,
he would go be there. He tries to break in. He's stealing all this shit, and they come home early.
Right.
And they just leave, but they know, hey, I just saw him. The kid saw him or whatever, and then that's when she takes off in the
call
van.
it aggression, but at the same time, like a sense of just like frustration and every type of feeling or any type of emotion could be evoked during that whole sequence. Now, I kind of breezed over this, and I want to be quick on it. It's casting characters.
Whoa!
We're not done yet,
man.
Oh.
Hey, come on, man!
Just because you shot your load doesn't mean we got more in the tank.
Clip it.
No, I really the one scene that kind of was like just I did not see this one coming. Is when David grabs goes out cops from somebody.
It's Crystal, right?
Yeah, he gets meth.
And then he does it to fucking, and then you kind of see his progression through the drug for the night. I thought that was like I was not expecting it.
I
so
had that too.
One.
I was like, I forgot about that. I didn't remember that he snorted. Again, I assume it's crystal meth. It could be cocaine, but I think it's crystal meth. That was nuts.
I was just not expected, and it was a good turn where I was like, oh shit, this is not the lane I thought this movie was going to be in there. I like this little gag with Steve Carell. It's like one of the only comedic times in the entire movie. He's on the phone. And he's like, fuck. And he throws his phone. And then the next scene, he's like rooting around. He's like, can you call my phone?
Yeah. I had just a couple more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nick's girlfriend overdoses, and he revives her in the car. He's calling 911. She's like dead. And then he somehow revives her with CPR. And that was crazy. And then she gets taken to the hospital. She's like, you better come. And Vinny's like, I'll be there. And then he ends up calling his dad, and that's what you kind of talked about, Bobby, where he calls his dad, and he's like, no rehab, but I want to come home, and I think if I'm there with you guys, I'll be good. And he's like, at that point, done with it. He's like, no.
This house is not available to you.
Call your sponsor.
Yeah.
Get help. Get better. It can't have you.
I love you,
anymore.
but yeah.
And that's a good thing. All throughout the whole movie before that, we had seen him literally do anything to help his son. So he wants to. It's killing him that he can't help him, or he can, but he can't, because if he does, it's going to keep continuing, and you can see like when he hangs up the phone, just how much it hurts him inside. That like I just can't do anything about it, even though it hurts my heart so much. I want to do something, I can't.
I forgot to mention with the break-in scene. So David is a writer, and he has basically like detailing the addiction and things like that. It's not really apparent of what the reason is why he's doing that, other than like he's just a writer. And on the last page, as Nick is going through breaking into the house, like one of the last lines is something along the lines of like, I'm looking for my son, my beautiful boy, because I can't find him.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Have you seen him?
Have you seen him? Yeah. That one, I was like, as he's reading, I'm like, God damn, it's a good scene.
Because like he loves his son so much, and all the good memories he had, and he's like, I think Timothy Chalamet said, like, I was kind of like a mini you, almost like you're shaping me to be like you.
Sure.
So like, and it's his firstborn,
right?
So there's just like so much emotion with that, like pain and hurt and love all wrapped into one, with all that.
That was my last favorite scene.
I like the ending scene. The last go for like 10 minutes. Nick overdoses in the bathroom stall in the diner.
Yeah, he
dies.
and I think he was a suicide attempt.
Yeah,
he was literally
he didn't
pumping
give a fuck,
it. He didn't give a fuck, and you saw his arms, his body looked like a
so
shell
many
of
track marks.
Yeah, I don't even know how he found a vein.
And then Michael and Holly meet in the rehab.
You call her Holly? Her name is Amy Ryan.
So yeah, hold on. I want to get through this.
The last, and then it ends with them with Steve Carell and Timmy Chalamet. He like escort, like kind of he has him leaning on him.
Right.
They go outside, and then Chalamet just like breaks down, like
bench,
feeling so guilty and crying. Like you think everything has just hit him at this moment, all the shit he's put his family through and himself and everything, and then Steve Carell just kind of puts his hand on him, and the movie just ends. Like I think that was really, really good, really well done.
Definitely, yeah.
And we're not doing cinematic shots yet, are we?
No,
Okay.
we're not.
Let's do cast.
No, that's
Let's
fine. I
do
just wanna
that.
make
Casting
sure.
characters. Let me rattle through who was part of this film, and
Can I
then
just say produced by Brad Pitt?
Nice.
no shit. I did not know that. Okay, well, I didn't do enough research. Timothy Chalamet as Nick Sheff as an adult. We have Steve Carell as David Sheff, Amy Ryan as Vicky Sheff, Moira Tierney as Karen Barber.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Jack Dylan Grazer as Nick Sheff as a teenager, Caitlin Dever as Lauren, Stephanie Scott as Julia, Andre Royo, which I think he'll be that guy, Spencer.
Yeah.
So as a boy, Zachary Rifkin, Nick Sheff as a little boy, Timothy Hutton, Dr. Brown, and Ricky Lowe, Destiny Carlton, and then I don't know. I think something cut off, but I'll leave it at that.
Caitlin Dever was the high school friend.
Yeah.
Lauren, I think, was her name.
Are we doing that part now, or are you waiting for that? We're doing the casting. I didn't know if that was part
No,
of it.
we could do the cast because I've unless you guys want me to go through a few quotes, I wrote down a few quotes.
Wait, what do you do? Hold on.
Which one do you want to do? Yeah, you let me know.
Which one do you want to do?
I would like
You
to get
wanna
through
do
casting,
that?
and then we'll do the quotes.
So
do that guy then.
We'll do
that
that
guy.
guy who had a
Alright.
performance, who stood out. Yeah.
All right, well, Amy Ryan, Holly Flax in The Office.
Yes.
Michael's
Yep.
wife in The Office, which is the ex-wife in this movie. It's kind of interesting, I thought. Maura Tierney's in a bunch of things. Liar,
Liar, yeah.
Newsweek, Rescue Me, Semi-Pro.
Liar,
The Office as well.
Yeah.
Robert California's wife. Amy Aquino, she's the rehab lady in the beginning who tells Steve Carell he's like a 80% chance or 25 to 80%
Yeah,
chance.
he gave him some bullshit
depending
numbers.
on. She was in Curb Your Enthusiasm a couple episodes, and she's in other shit. I just recognize her from Curb specifically. Caitlin Dever is Abby in The Last
That's
of Us.
what I was going to do.
Oh, I'm
Caitlin
sorry.
Devers.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
Jack Dylan Grazer is in It as Eddie Kasperick in Shazam as the friend. I think the winner, like Robbie said, Andre Royo, Bubbles in The Wire.
Hell yeah.
And then the what's her face, Stephanie Noelle Scott, his girlfriend at college. She's the main girl in Insidious 3.
Oh, good tie-in. Yep.
Never saw it. It's all good.
Not surprised. That's
Right. Now I
Now
know
your
you
cup
don't
of-
like
now your
horror
cup of
movies,
tea,
so it's
yeah.
fine.
All right, I'm good with.
I'm good with it,
I mean,
too.
recasting. I guess
I had a
would
couple
fit in here.
recasting
Go
possibilities.
Curious.
recasting.
Yeah. Let's
I
see.
mean, I think Steve Carell is great in it, but there could be someone else in it. I think that
Jared Leto.
I had Hugh Jackman actually as Danny or David. Sorry, Danny.
Jesus
David.
Christ.
I had
His
him the
name is
wrong name in my
David.
notes, dude. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
And then
Hugh Jackman works.
I think you guys probably be like, I don't know, but obviously he does comedy and seriousness. I think Bob Odenkirk could have been great as well
Yeah.
Odenkirk. Okay.
as David. As my only two.
I didn't have a recasting because it was a little tough with the first time seeing it through. I think maybe in like the second time would probably have a couple guys like, oh, maybe this.
I got a controversial. I guess maybe not controversial, but I think it would land given Mel Gibson as the father. As
I can see it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
he just whiffed on the block.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, because I think he would really sell an older. But the thing is, I think his age would
I think
kind
he's
of
too old.
That's
at
the thing.
time,
But
yeah.
if you could have aged him down a little bit, Mel Gibson would be a good.
I was
stand-in.
thinking too, like when I said Hugh Jackman, because I'm thinking like of him in like Prisoners and like basically doing that in this.
One
Gotcha.
of the ones we also reviewed.
maybe a little more.
that was one of our first ones.
maybe a little more
Right.
toned down version of that.
Sure.
But, he can bring the emotion.
Right, exactly.
Or whatever.
So, all right, let's move on forward. I got some quotes that I'm going to just rattle through, at least 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll open it up to you guys. I know that we've kind of, kicked them in there throughout this review.
Yeah, go for it.
But one of the ones that hit me right out of the gate is, when I discovered drugs, my world went from black and white to Technicolor. I could never give that up, so I tell people what they want to hear.
That was one of the things in the notebook what we were just talking
Yeah.
about, the journal or whatever.
And then this other one that I really, I guess, was drawn to, and I think it's true in all addiction, is it never clicked until one day I woke up in the hospital and someone asked me, "What's your problem?" And I said, "I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict." And he said, "No, that's how you've been treating your problem. I know now I need to find a way to fill this big black hole in me." So I really think that's kind of the case. It's almost like a self-medication that people kind of, grasp onto for whatever the void is, whatever the dilemma is. And then, sorry, last one I have was, and I've kind of been circling on this one for a long time, but this is when they're at the, I think, parents or survivors of addicts meeting, or, some of that. But anyways, I lost my Frances this week. She died of an overdose on Sunday. So I guess I'm in mourning, but I realized something else. I've actually been in mourning for years because even when she was alive, she wasn't there. When you mourn the living, that's a hard way to live. And so in a way, I guess it's better. So like that was during the Steve Carell and I believe his wife, attending one of those meetings, like how to manage when you have someone in your life or a loved one that's addicted. So that one, like, dude, I was kind of broken up about that. I was like, because I love the value of life. We should always try, but I hate to say it. You could lead a horse to water, but they gotta put in the work. They really do. So, yeah, that was mine.
Okay, I'm gonna go. There's two comedic ones that I have, and then there's another Charles Bukowski quote that I thought was, or a poem I think was interesting.
The last one.
The person in the therapist or whatever that you mentioned her name on was like, relapse is a part of recovery.
How
Steve
is it?
Carell's like, that's like saying crashing is part of being a pilot.
Yeah, I caught that too.
It's great.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I also like it's kind of also just like was super accurate of just like you can't say dumb shit like that or you'll start believing it.
Yeah, I had that as well. That's good.
Okay. Sorry to snake both of yours.
No, that's cool. No.
You got any others?
Well, I mean the whole.
You got the Charles Bukowski quote?
No, I don't have that one. I was just gonna say when he's dropped the one scene, the quote where he's dropping young Nick off at the airport, and he's like, "Do you know how much I love you? If you could take all the words in the language, it still wouldn't describe how much I love you. And if you could gather all those words together, it still wouldn't describe what I feel for you. What I feel for you is everything. I love you more than everything." And that's like throughout the movie, they keep saying that when they hug and everything, and that's the genesis of it. So that was a really cool. I like that quote, and that was a good part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just do a part of the Charles Bukowski because it just keeps fucking cutting off with this. I changed jobs and cities. I hated holidays, babies, histories, newspapers, museums, grandmothers, marriage, movies, spiders, garbage men, English accents, Spain, France, Italy, walnuts, the color orange, algebra angered me, opera sickened me, Charlie Chaplin was a fake and flowers were for pansies. Peace and happiness to me were a sign of inferiority, tenets of the weak and the addled mind. But as I went on with my alley fights, my suicidal years, my passage through a number of women, it gradually began to occur to me that I wasn't different from the others. I was the same. I mean, Charles Bukowski is a very famous, I guess laureate. I don't know what his title would be.
Writer,
Poem,
laureate, sure.
Writer. I thought, again, this is just another part of this movie that is just like, it's so... it's obviously it's dealing with the subject matter is very real, and then on top of it, they have to interject real things in there. Like you have to be like, this is how they would, and also is kind of writing family, so I kind of see how they interject Charles Bukowski quotes.
I was gonna take a snippet of a quote.
Go for it.
He's at the rehab. He's been 14 months clean. He's like, I know I need to find a way to fill this big black hole in me. Anyway, so I'm 14 months clean. I have a job at a rehab. It's fulfilling to help other people get sober. I have a sponsor, Spencer. He shows me how great life can be sober. And I still have family. My mom's been amazing. My dad's been amazing too. I want them to be proud of me. I like that. That was good. And then it goes into the him like I think driving and like enjoying life, and the Neil Young Heart of Gold's playing, which is also one of my cinematic. I know it's bleeding into it, but I was just saying that was a great.
Yeah, we're going to go needle drop after this. My last one was Steve Carell when he says, I want to know all that I can about it. Know your enemies, right?
Yeah.
When he's in the meeting with, the
Timothy Hutton.
Yeah, Timothy Hutton and the, call it expert. So I know Woj has been, he's kind of our subject matter expert, I guess, when we do our movie reviews. But needle drop, songs and scores. You want to kick us off or some of the ones you have?
Yeah, I mean, again, this takes place in California. So you start with Helicon by Mogwai. It's kind of like an LA indie type of track. It's kind of decent there. But again, it fits in right with the movie theme. The one that I think a lot of people know, Territorial Pissings, did not know that this was the name of the song by Nirvana.
And that transition scene.
They're jamming out in that. But like again, like you hear, I think a lot of people in our age bracket kind of heard that song before, but like
we didn't know the name of the track.
Never putting that two and two together. Sound and Vision by Bowie. I mean, David Bowie's fucking the man.
Bowie.
Or androgynous creature, whatever the fuck he was. That's a solid one. Song to the Siren by Tim Buckley is what Ryan mentioned. That's like 70s like folk type, like light type of shit.
Oh,
right?
I mentioned Heart of Gold from Neil Young.
Oh, Heart of Gold by Neil Young. I got
Yeah.
that one down there too. Who the fuck was that? Did you score?
Franklin.
God damn it. Okay, good stuff for at least the Broncos fucking
We're on
scored
the
a
board,
touchdown. Yeah. This one is kind of a trippy one. Sven G.
Yep.
Englar by Sigurus.
Sigurus.
That one is a 9-minute ballad of as Nick Sheff is going through drug, I guess, euphoria, and it kind of shows the arc of the having just shot up and then what he's going through and feeling through there. Beautiful Boy by John Lennon, kind of the, again, part of the mainstay or main part of the title there. I like some of these older ones. St. James Infirmary by the Jegpap New Orleans Jazz Group. Now, I don't know if the group is old, but I know the St. James Infirmary is an older song. And then again, there's another one, beautiful Sunrise Sunset by Perry Como. That's obviously an older cat, an older crooner. The Symphony No. 3, Operatic 36, to Lento y Largo Tranquillissimo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome to put in these more grandiose numbers or songs and stuff like that, because I think, again, it lends itself to more dramatic, like Oscar nominees.
Sure.
You definitely see a lot more classical music peppered in
I
there.
prefer that. I prefer at least more of a serious note in some of those, call it higher echelon type of scores put into this. It adds a different bravado to a scene.
I have one note.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's more of a score
Yep.
part. It's the score when Danny is researching crystal meth and he's talking to Timothy Hutton, and then he ends up finding that girl on the street, the meth girl, and he buys her like dinner or
buys
whatever,
her
lunch.
Yep.
There's like in the background, there's like a score playing. It's kind of like dark and ominous a little bit, but like also like to me, it sounded like it would be in like GoldenEye for 64.
Okay.
A little foreboding.
Go back and listen to it and like tell me if you can picture that in GoldenEye in 64. I don't know.
Check it out.
It's kind of like one of those levels, like you're in the cave, where it's like.
So that might be the one that I wrote down, Goldsboro Express by John Coltrane. Kind of,
I don't remember where that one's
I
at.
don't know what it's called. I just know what it's.
I'm wondering if that's the one. For the life of me, I'll have to maybe research this. But yeah, whoa, you all of mine on my list. You just
nailed it.
Sorry, man.
No, I appreciate
There's
it.
actually a very good soundtrack. I would probably listen to the soundtrack again, just because, again, when you're dealing with these Oscar-nominated movies, usually the soundtrack budget is up there too, and so you're putting money into it, but also creating an arc of, like, obviously addiction in this. It lends itself very well to create an arc with, like, the story, but then also, again, within the soundtrack. What is the next category?
Cinematic shot? Or?
Yeah, go to
if you
cinematic
guys,
shots.
let's knock out cinematic
I had
shot.
a few.
I like the hiking over the mountain type of, it's LA chic or whatever the fuck they call it. Probably not right there, but no, just like, again, it's like a nice
Mountainous
scenery,
terrain,
and
sure.
yeah, like, even though it's a tough subject, he's like fielding a call from the
His
ex-wife.
ex-wife, about his son's, downfall, relapse.
He's relapsing. He starts researching how to shoot heroin, and then he does the heroin after his girlfriend like breaks up with him, and then he goes on the quad, and he's like just high as fuck, and like everything's
he's
blurry.
Right, he's
and
doing the meth walk,
dazed,
yeah.
and he's like walking around. And you can tell he's like all fucked up, and he has like that weird hat on, the winter hat on.
Yeah. What is that, like Swiss Miss hat on? Yeah.
I already mentioned the other one, like I said, with after the meeting, Heart of Gold's playing, and he's driving through like the country, and he's kind of like doing this out the window, and he sticks his head out, and he's just like, you could tell he's like really just soaking in life.
Right, that was a
everything.
great cinematic shot.
And the last one I had was the POV shot of Nick driving through the lit tunnel at night. It's like all lit up and it's dark or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I can imagine the light play on that would be kind of, like you said, euphoric and just add to your
And
eye.
I guess, too, when we talked about it a little bit, when he was driving all high in the station wagon, we told Steve Carell, I'm going to go to like a meeting or whatever. And then he ended up like getting fucked up, and the next day he stole the money or whatever. That one's good.
One of my cinematic shots is not like, something that's more of a landscape. It was him sitting outside of the bar scene with I think a beer or a drink, just sitting next to his car. And then, you're seeing him basically, it's like tempting the devil, if you will. It's like having a beer and smoking cigarettes, that's fine.
Right before he meets the girl.
Yeah, right before he meets the girl. It's like, I think he, put himself in that situation, but you saw kind of like the teetering start to go the other direction.
Well, he says it. He said when he meets her, he's like, hey, what are you, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I've been sober for so long. I'm just looking to let go tonight or something, some paraphrase.
So, yeah, like just that, I guess, the preemptiveness of it. I was like, dude, problems to come. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
All right, next category?
Yeah, next category I got is spin-off, prequel, and sequel.
Switcheroo?
I don't even think for that, but I do have a switcheroo. I got something big for the switcheroo.
I got both. So you don't have which one?
I only have the switcheroo, but I have quite a bit for it.
Let's do spin-off, sequels, prequels then first. Bobby, you have one for spin-off?
Not really. I like I said, I think that this stands on its own. I really don't think that there'd be enough substance to go any direction for a prequel.
I got an idea here.
I got an idea. All right.
Exceptionally psyched about. Okay. Picture this. I'm in love, and I don't care who knows
You're
it.
doing Buddy the Elf.
That's
I love
a classic elf line.
That was.
That's a little deep reach in the pocket.
You're not Santa. You smell like beef and cheese.
You're an angry elf.
So I got like 30 to 40 years later, Timothy Chalamet's
Shamalama Ding Dong.
No, I had fun with it in the notes. You'll catch a couple other. Timothy Calamari there. I got him played by like Sean Penn now, because Sean Penn's like grizzled. The face doesn't really match up, but bear with me. Of like Sean Penn, like telling the story maybe to like his kids of like the addiction, like, hey, this is fucking what happened. This is because he has like the hey, I lived through the fucking.
He has that vibe to
type
him,
of shit, yeah. So I like that one. I also like.
What about Alice Cooper today? As a grandfather.
You know how old Alice Cooper?
I know,
I just learned this is like 81.
No, but I would say
still does the radio show every night.
Does he?
Yeah, I've turned on
Alice Cooper. We love you, but I'm just saying Alice Cooper.
And we know you're watching.
If he ends up being like
Alice Cooper,
Nick Sheff as like a grandfather deep into his like old state, I guess.
Nice.
I also got Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong starts a music career off of the addiction. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. Like
I know why.
The lead singer for All American Rejects is
Tyson something.
Right? No, I just kind of was like, oh yeah, you could play into like a rocker type of dude. Obviously, like has a checkered past type of thing. I was like, that could work. And then I had weirdly 3 of these.
This is weird. Yeah.
Steve Carell is an actual journalist. I would actually enjoy to see that, like, if he either kept on with the drug kind of thing or maybe earlier in his career of, like, how he made his bones of, like, doing actual journalism. I thought that was cool. So those are my 3.
Switcheroo time.
Yeah, go to Switcheroo.
I was cooking with this one. Now, bear with me.
I am.
Some of the timeline might not match up or some details with these other shows that I'm crossing it over with. But clearly an Office connection here, right?
Okay.
The Wire, is The Office, but The Office is strong in this movie.
Yes, you can tell.
You got Maura Tierney, who's Robert California's wife. You got Holly and Michael. So here it is. Michael and Holly ended up together, as we know, in The Office, right?
Yeah. Right.
But didn't work out like they thought. They ended up being stalked by the Scranton Strangler, which turned out to be Toby. In order to keep them safe, they went in a women's protection program where their marriage crumbled under the stress. They separated, and Michael ended up marrying Robert California's wife. Somehow they met up. Yep. Yeah. Their son ended up with Michael, and because of the divorce, turned to crystal meth to cope with the pain of his parents' divorce. He chose meth because while dealing with his parents' divorce, he was watching lots of Breaking Bad and thought after watching it that crystal meth looked like a fun drug of choice to escape reality.
Man, that's a hell of a pull.
Well, that's a clip right there.
I was cooking right there.
Send that to Hollywood.
Okay, when the movie was going, like I paused it like right away, and I'm like, I gotta write this down. Like my brain was just like on fire. Also, if you want to do
was on fire.
An obvious crossover is with Euphoria, the show.
Sure.
This is basically like Euphoria is like this movie as a show, but with a different character.
I got one that you probably wouldn't even put together, but do you have a crossover, Woj, before I go?
Yeah, I thought 2 movies, The Skeleton Twins and Marriage Story, like the way in which they're shot.
Marriage Story is great.
I feel like they could have been intertwined somewhere. I didn't really think about that too much, but like again, it works in the styling of the film. But go ahead, Bob.
So my crossover was a movie that we've actually reviewed at some point, and it's actually in a location close to Los Angeles, enough, and had a drug scene, the Salton Sea.
I knew you were going to say that, yeah.
The Salton Sea. I could see Timothy Chalamet maybe hooking up with either that crazy motherfucker,
Vincent D'Onofrio's character,
or Val Kilmer to buy.
I like that. That's good.
So
man.
there you go. That was my one crossover.
Very good. Very good. I like it. So picky nits time then.
Picky nits. Yep. Very good.
Mine's more of a question. It's not a picky nit. This one, at least, was one picky nit, I guess. My one picky nit is, I think her name's Karen, the stepmom. Is it Karen? Maura Tierney's character?
Her name is Karen Bauer.
Karen.
Barber, yeah.
She gets in her van really damn quickly after the chase down Nick and his girlfriend. Like, she was on the end of the driveway, and then she saw them whiz by, and then all of a sudden she was like on their ass almost. Like it seemed like a little quick. Not like a big thing, but but my question though was more of what made Nick feel so depressed in his life? What made him turn to drugs? Like, I feel like usually there's like a one thing. Was it his parents' divorce? Was it something else?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. It's really not explained.
Like, his parents are both alive. His dad's clearly got money and he's supportive, and his mom too. So it's like, what am I just, usually I think when you're an addict, there's something that makes you feel like life sucks and you can't deal with it, and you need something to take the edge off, like you said. So what exactly was his key factor in that, or did he just
what triggered,
or was it just in his brain where he's just like,
some people are
where he's wired that way and he just tried something and then he's just like, oh, marijuana's a gateway drug and now I'm just gonna try these things because
some people do have the addictive personality where they once they grasp onto something they want to see everything about it.
I mean, the problem is that when you're putting a movie on about addiction, and one of the fundamental pillars is like trying to lie to get whatever, you unfortunately don't really know where is the truth of, like, he's like, I did weed like a couple times, and then I did this, and crystal meth only in the last couple months. Like, he could be using it for years. And like, I just, like, from personally, and I'm not like Timothy Chalamet, but like, things like, oh, you're not?
No, but I'm saying like, like I understood some of his character, some of the movie, like when, like, because like you deal with some stuff and it's just like really hard, like, your parents are sick or they die or something like that, where that would cause you to dive into that type of thing, or whatever. And I just was curious his, motivations or whatever.
I gotcha. I'm gonna go. I'm not super sold on, like, basically the first minute and a half of the movie is the plot of, like, Steve Carell just like, my son is doing drugs and I am trying to find out all the information I can, and how do I help him? Like, that's kind of how the first monologue went. I was like, it's a little on the nose. Like, you could have maybe just done a part of that to kind of get into it. Steve Carell doesn't even look athletic enough for surfing, so I didn't even buy that. Like, you maybe get him in a squash or a pickleball court, I'd be like, yeah, that's more of his speed for sure. That's a terrible throw.
Jesus.
The looking up how to inject crystal meth on a college computer is nuts.
Heroin.
Sorry, is insane.
He's like looking behind him.
I don't care if this is like based. It looks like the computer was a little older, so maybe it was based in like the early 2000s or something like that.
This movie did take place. I noticed because he had the Razor phone and stuff.
Yeah.
So the book came out in 2005. So this is like 90s, like mid to late 90s to the early to mid 2000s. So that tracks.
Okay. It just still is like you don't look it up, and then he just does one of these. It's like, who's behind me? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like clear as day on there.
Well, you could be doing a school health project on drugs or something. You could write that off, like if someone questioned you about it.
Sure. The smoking of whatever he was doing, whether it was heroin or crystal meth or whatever, and driving is fucking bonkers. Okay? You to try and do, like, again, like certain things, drugs and stuff like that, you maybe just smoke and light up, whatever, and you're doing a thing where you got to inject in the thing and the smoke. It was way too intricate to be smoking there. These are just, again, just dumb stuff. Driver's license in the drug box. hey, this is, if you ever find this, know whose drugs this belongs to.
Right. Yeah, that was one of mine.
I was like,
Well, I'm sorry. Which part was that?
so when he's opening up the drug box in one of the flashback scenes to like, hey, I'm gonna.
It has
do
his
stuff.
ID.
oh,
In
like
there.
Literally-
the needle and the.
Yeah, it literally has his ID in the bottom of the drug box. It
I
says
didn't notice
California.
that. Interesting.
Little quick one.
Agreed. Sorry, you don't bring that along for your drug kit.
Yeah, why in this one scene where there was a cricket, they were supposed to be outside. The cricket was so fucking loud. I was listening to my volume of my TV so low, and I still only heard cricket, not fucking any dialogue. I was so pissed.
I didn't notice that.
Is the worst fucking thing though. I'm like, I thought there was a cricket outside. I'm like, it's fucking November. How the fuck is there?
I know
a
what
cricket
scene you're
outside?
talking about too. Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
They
the
like
more
amped
serious
up
one.
that volume for that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, then the last thing I really have is just kind of more of the generalization. Like it's he is like a kid is saying, "You suffocate me." Like that's what his. Like, fuck you, Dad. Like,
Right.
you suffocate me. I was like, that's nuts because he's literally been like, hey, you want to take the car? Go ahead.
Right. One of the
You
most
wanna do it?
supportive.
I obviously, again, I understand drug
Yeah.
is going to affect the brain
Warps
and all
the
that
brain,
stuff.
yeah.
Addict, yeah.
But I'm still just in the sense of like, really? Like,
that's what addicts do. They
it doesn't even make
irrationally
sense.
lash out.
Hey, I'm going to take you to New York. Oh, you suffocate me. Just crazy shit.
They just do that shit. Yeah.
And then the last thing is not even a picking nit. It's just a general comments on the therapy, I guess, industry here is like, it seems like it is absolutely let's just milk all the money out of you. Oh, he needs time. He needs more. Now, granted, in this case, I think he definitely needed more
dude,
time.
Some of the rehabs are like that, dude.
But
for
I
sure.
just do see, like, in all of the things that they were saying, they were like, on the phone, they were like, yeah, so your son got out, and it's not our problem.
We can't do anything.
So go fuck yourself and peace out, dog.
Well, that's their whole business, dude. Like people, like they know they're gonna relapse and they come back, and like I mean, obviously I think they want to help them, but also at the same time, like they need customers.
Yeah, I
They
think
need
to me
people,
it just kind of it shed more of a light to me, honestly, on a.
I'll say this about a halfway house. That, not that I have an innate experience with it, but to some extent, you have rules that you try to abide by, but they can't like enforce rules. If they leave and don't come back, it's not like, okay, let's get the guns and dogs, and after
they
them.
have free will. And,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like your success is dependent on how well you want to adhere to these
if
rules.
anything, they'll kick you out of the halfway.
Yeah,
house.
exactly. So I don't have a picky nit so much with that, but
I'm actually tapped out on.
I
that,
had
so.
a comment. If you go ahead, Bobby, after you're done. I have a,
the only thing that I guess I have a picky nit about, and I don't want this to become a whole thing, is why is it that his dad's obviously has a writing connection, and he talks about his memoirs about tweaking out, and maybe if that ends up helping someone, great. But it's like, I'm sorry that you went through that dark, call it 8-10 years of history, and now you get to have a multi-million-dollar book book selling thing, like a million little pieces. Like, why is it that we popularize people that are addicts, and why can't I write a book of, hey, I wake up and do a daily grind to better my family, better my life? No one's going to pick that up for a million books sold. It's just sad. It's like, I think we're over popularizing people that struggle. Whatever happened to the guy that does the daily grind and is there for his wife and family? Like, there's no book for that. That's the only hang up I have in general for this, like, self-help, whatever we're in. It's just like, hey man, we shouldn't give you $1. You fucked up. Get better. Be better.
Yeah, I mean, this is the context of the movie. The
I
content of the movie.
I know,
is
but
about
now he's
drugs,
like,
so if you
best-selling
don't-
author, and his dad is a writer and has all these contacts. It's like, why? It just, for me, I have a little bit of a hang up on that. Where's a book that says, hey, I fucking did a horrible job for 40 years of my life to give my kids something that I couldn't have? I'd love to read that book.
I mean, I'm sure there are books out there for it. And
Doubt.
please, anybody who knows one of those, comment in the
Daily
video
Grind is
below.
not.
I'm sure, honestly, there's a book titled The Daily Grind.
Probably.
That is a novel like that.
Google.
What is your last comment?
I found myself. Steve Carell's very good in this,
Right, but
but
right, still
Michael
Steve Carell.
Scott.
Yes.
When he yells, I
don't
picture
believe it as
Michael
much.
Scott, and I'm like laughing at times. It's a serious part.
Right.
And
Oh,
I'm
I
like-
could separate myself in that.
It's hard,
It's
though, a
hard
little
because
bit.
like sometimes like no, and I'm picturing like Michael doing his Michael thing, and it's the same voice, the same tone.
If I'm being honest, though, dude, your
should be
Switcheroo
honest.
crossover was involving The
Michael,
Office, so like
yeah.
you're definitely leaning even more.
There's
into
definitely
it.
a war.
Well, it's hard to separate. It's the character he played for so long. Is his best known for. You're gonna, and his voice is so distinct.
Okay.
The way he sounds. And
You're
like,
right. You're right. In
in
his
the-
yelling scenes, I was like, shit.
Like
I had a hard time,
you
too.
know, no. When Toby comes back, no. A couple of parts like that remind me.
No,
of
please,
No, but
God,
his
no.
inflection, you can't, like, he didn't do a different approach
Or
on
like
it.
like in the episode the dinner party when he's like, good luck paying me back on your zero benefits or zero salary plus benefits package, babe. He's a part that he's like, well, I don't want anybody to know about my son. And like it's like the same obviously it means different things, the tone of the scene.
Right.
But it's kind of a similar inflection in sound. So it's like
I get you. I understand on that.
I found myself like, okay, Ryan, like it's not The Office.
Right, it's not.
I know he sounds like it. It's not The Office. I just don't know if you guys had a similar.
No, I did a little bit for the one scene outside the house, so yeah, I get you.
I'm not gonna lie, I could separate it entirely, and I honestly, again, we talked about it in the beginning. Steve Carell's performance as a more serious actor, he's been
great.
doing stuff here and there. He's absolutely a great actor, but the to me the more thing that kind of threw me out of it is I think it's logical to go into the ratings and the
Yeah,
stream
let's
skip
run
and
into
all that
it.
stuff.
So rent it, own it, stream it, ratings.
Right. Yeah. Because of the subject matter on this, I like the movie in general as like again a total movie put together very well. I think it's done very well. It's obviously an Oscar nominee, but I feel like it fits into the mold of what would be considered for an Oscar in today's day and age. The subject matter of just like drug addiction and through there, it's not something that I seek out. It's kind of
Right.
more of a thing that like if the movie that I'm watching involves that, I'm kind of like, oh, that's an interesting add-on or something like that. For me, and just again, kind of also the longer duration of this, I guess one of my other pickiness would be like it's a little too long for me. I think this could be done in
Runtime's 2 hours.
I think it could be done in an hour 45 and still be great, or switch out a scene. I'm gonna go with a skip it. I probably would not revisit this one. And my rating though, because I'm gonna actually do an amalgamation of
Good word.
the movie as a whole, and then again my interest in the movie, I'm gonna probably top out at like a 7-8, because again I think the movie was very well done, very well put together. A lot of
the interest or the
7-8 is my total average score.
Okay.
So yeah, I would probably have trended down in terms of subject matter, and would I revisit it at like the lower end of a 7, and then I'd probably be in the 8s of like, is this movie a well done, put together movie? Yes, it's very enjoyable to watch for that matter of it. It has a beautiful arc and soundtrack plays well into it. Acting is great. So I'm gonna go 7-8.
Now, I would own it. You can't own it. I would, but you can't.
Well,
Okay.
no,
You can't own it because it's on Prime
But
only.
no, but
No, no,
you
no,
would
no, no,
though.
no, no,
You
no.
would. So own it would
you
be your
you
ranking.
can own it.
You
It's
can't.
just it's only available on a streaming service.
So you can't own it. You don't own
You
the
don't have the
streaming
physical
service.
media.
Yeah, but okay.
The
So
idea is
hold on,
owning
hold
it
on,
is you
hold the phone,
can own
hold the phone,
it.
hold the phone, hold the phone,
Shut the
hold the
fuck
phone,
up.
hold the
The
phone.
argument's over. You can't
no,
own
no,
it.
no, 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 no. When you are subscribing to, like, let's just say a Netflix or an Amazon,
Do you own it?
No.
you do not physically own it,
You're
right?
leasing
You
it,
cannot
essentially.
take that, right? But at the same time, as long as you own a subscription to it, you are paying for that movie. You technically, in theory, are able to access it at any time, which
How?
is the equivalent to owning. I rest my case.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Not.
thank you.
Because you don't own it.
Thank
and
you.
also, no, you're not over it. Because,
He's doing the thank
because
yous.
they can take it off at any time and you have no control
No,
over
they
it.
can't.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they
It's
can.
a
Yes, they can.
No, it's a
Doesn't matter.
Netflix or Amazon
Doesn't
original.
matter. Hulu had original things they took off you
time
can't
out.
get
Well,
anymore.
we're not
Time out.
talking
Hold
about
on, whoa,
Hulu.
whoa,
We're talking
okay,
about
but if,
Who's the owner of the IP?
we're talking
I do
about
this
Netflix
for my job.
and
okay,
Amazon.
but
the two
Hulu is
biggest-
comparable to Netflix and Amazon.
No,
They're
it's
saying-
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
How is it not?
Netflix and Amazon
not?
are up in the top
You're
register.
fucking high as a fucking.
Hulu is one of the brothers.
They're
It's
all the
lower
same.
down.
Amazon, Apple TV, Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Disney Plus. They're all streaming
Hulu and
services.
Disney Plus are the same.
Yes, they are all streaming
these
service.
same
Obviously,
things
They have
no.
they
Netflix
have
is a
control
bigger
of what
fucking
IP
company.
they release on their platform.
Netflix and Amazon are both billion, if not, well, Amazon is a $1 trillion
there have been
company.
things that have been Netflix originals that are no longer on Netflix.
Like
You cannot
what-
get-
like,
I
do you
have to
have
look
an
it up.
example?
I'd have to
Okay.
look it up. But for Hulu, I can tell you the James Franco one, but 11/22/63, the JFK when he goes back to Stephen King thing, that was a Hulu exclusive that came out, and it's no longer on Hulu.
Are you sure that's not because of his
No, yes, they
Conviction.
don't.
things that he
No,
did?
because it was on there for years after.
Oh, okay. Honestly,
So-
I'll at least put out this.
You're right. I'm
this
sorry.
part of it
I do
is that
context, so, yeah.
anything that I have known as a Netflix original or an Amazon original have been available on the streaming service. Now, you could be correct. Again, I'm as something that has been moved off of those after a series of years. I just haven't encountered that yet.
There are, if you have no control over the company's willingness or contracts to own things or take things on and off the streaming service, then you
don't
own
technically
it.
own it. You're leasing it.
Now, if you had it for, say, an example, like I have like
Or a
a
subscription.
Voodoo account where I digitally bought the movie, I do
You have
own
a digital
that.
record of that.
I
yes.
own it. I purchased that. Now, that's different.
Okay.
So
All right, let's put
I
this
like
to bed.
your-
I get it, though.
anyway, I would own it if I could own
Okay.
it. I can't own it. Now, as Woj said, subject matter, it's not like necessarily a movie you want to like pop in.
You
all
don't
the
go
time,
out of your way to
but
watch
because
this,
of the
sure.
acting is so good in it and the movie is so good in it, it is one that I would like to revisit here and there. Not as often as I would like a comedy or
Right.
an
A few
action
years,
movie
maybe,
or something. So I'm gonna give it a fairly high grade. I'm gonna go 8.8.
Oh, okay.
Because the acting is tremendous and the story is
Tremendous.
really well done.
Tremendous.
The subject matter again
Top drawer.
doesn't lend itself necessarily like I know like it's gonna be like, wow, you gave this an 8.8, but you gave like Rush Hour a 9.5. Well,
Right.
I have more nostalgia for that. I can rewatch that movie anytime. It's a different type of movie. Like,
Right.
It's kind of hard to compare them. Like,
Right, no,
but,
you're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
like
Oil and water.
I'm gonna go
essentially.
8.8.
All right. For me, this would be a stream. Simply, I'm on the same level of Woj in the sense that I'm not going to go out of my way to like let's watch a movie about some guy's addiction and recovery and relapse. Like
You have to be in the right mood for
right.
it. Or
That being
whatever.
said, though, would I come and revisit it every once in a while? Sure, because like you said, the acting is incredible. Steve Carell does a good job. I give this one an 8.3. It's not quite a 9-tier or A-tier level movie. And to Woj's point, could they have trimmed about 10, 15 minutes off of this? Yes, and I almost wish they went a different route and did a little bit more of the David Sheff, like his writing experience, or maybe just a small tidbit of, they have him in one of the meetings. They have him talking to some like consultant. But it's like I almost kind of wish they dove into his character a little bit more. That's all.
Okay.
So that's it. We did Beautiful Boy
Beautiful Boy.
2018. Go out there if you have an Amazon Prime membership. Check it out. Who's next in the queue?
That's me. And we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, it's time for it. Anchorman.
Anchorman. Okay.
It's about
I just also thought of an example for a Netflix one. All the Marvel stuff, the Daredevil, Punisher, all that was a Netflix original that eventually went back to Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yeah.
So there's one example I can.
No, you're right, man. I know how IP works.
Sorry, I was thinking about it and
it's all good.
while we're talking about it.
No big deal. Anchorman coming up next.
Anchorman.
Hell yeah. Can't
there we
wait.
go.
Oh, it's gonna be
It's gonna be a long one.
I mean, get ready for.
We're
some
gonna be
fucking
quoting the whole fucking
quotes.
movie.
I mean, might as well just put the movie on like fucking right.
How many
here.
table reads? 3 or 5?
gotta be at least
10?
I mean,
Two
we
or
have.
three.
There's no way to know. All right, Anchorman coming up though. We got again a big week in fantasy football for me. I know from the
Big
first
implications
part of the
this week,
episode. I gotta win, and we're looking good. Any final thoughts for the shebang bang over here from the crew?
No, let's put a bow on this, kid. We enjoy your tenure. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Talk shit if you must, but
If
we'll at
you
least respond.
must.